Tonight, my friends, which by the way, I survived from that terrible stench of odor of Monday Night Raw in my room last night or earlier this morning at my 2 a.m. review. I guess the scent got wiped away. But this evening, around 9:30 p.m., it was told by a man claiming to be the new Daniel Bryan that the old Daniel Bryan is dead. That Daniel Bryan was beaten out by Brock Lesnar, which is why there was a new Daniel Bryan smiling in that ring. And with that being said, as he also claimed, the Yes Movement is dead. We may never see it again. And so was another good episode of SmackDown. Just kidding. Tonight was a huge setback for SmackDown Live. What's going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993 convention. We'll get right back to the memorial of the Yes Movement in a little bit. But I'm here to give you my live review of SmackDown Live, the November 20th, 2018 edition of SmackDown Live, the Fallout show from Survivor Series that took place in Los Angeles, California, the Staples Center once again, as LA's had 4 nights in a row of this madness. Well, somewhat disappointing madness, I shall say. Not completely. TakeOver was good. Survivor Series has good moments, but both of these episodes of Raw and SmackDown kind of made Survivor Series just look completely pointless. And that is another reason why I kept saying in the months, the lackluster 2-week build towards that show, they need to stop having SmackDown. Having a Survivor Series be Raw versus SmackDown bragging rights only. Because who benefited from that? The only storyline involved in that SmackDown in that Survivor Series at that Survivor Series pay-per-view that was further on was the stuff with Braun Strowman. But now apparently he for real got injured in that beatdown, so he may not be able to even wrestle in the TLC match at TLC against Baron Corbin. So let's see what goes on. But after these 2 episodes, honestly, I can say Survivor Series was a complete waste. Complete waste of time. And I hate to say it, but I didn't really enjoy this episode of SmackDown. Other than the Daniel Bryan promo, the main event match was good, but I do have a bone to pick with it, of course. And other than that, wasn't really anything else I really enjoyed in the show. A very disappointing show, I gotta say. And what makes this more disappointing, apparently there were network executives from Fox there tonight at the show. And they by far, in this new generation of SmackDown, not the SmackDown we got earlier this year that was complete garbage before WrestleMania, this has got to be the worst episode SmackDown has put on since the Superstar shakeup. I hate to say it, but it's how it felt. I mean, I give it the credit. It attempted to further some storylines, but some things were just was what it was. Something was the same old shit. And honestly, somewhat confusing as well. Mainly because of what happened at the beginning of the show, which we'll get into that shortly. So for the first time, I had to kind of include #rant in the Twitter post for this live review. So without further ado, let's check out the live chat first and see what happens before we get on to this episode of SmackDown Live, which of course will eventually make full circle back to the shrine and the eulogy for the Yes Movement. But let's see what happens. We've got Mark. What's going on, Mark? He says, how are you? I am not too bad. Other than the fact that the Yes movement is dead, not too bad at all. Excited for the holidays and excited to start my holiday job tomorrow. But I'm pretty good. Could use a little bit of a shave though, I say. Well, Billy Kay and Peyton Royce learned a lesson. Don't mess with the Queen for sure. What's up, Jay King? Thank you for returning to come back. This show was awful. The last half hour of the show was great. Everything else was just complete garbage. I agree completely on that. And just like the night after SummerSlam, no call-ups. That's another thing too. We didn't have any call-ups at all. Or then again, another teaser for Lars Sullivan, which now I don't know which brand's going to do. I mean, I still think he should go to Raw. I don't know why. I'm still feeling Raw for him right now. So I don't know where he's going, but no Nikki Cross. I mean, I thought maybe Velveteen Dream. Aleister Black seems to have some unfinished business. Same with Johnny Gargano, of course, and Tommaso Ciampa. Of course, Shayna Baszler's probably not coming up now, but I thought at least Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross would, be back up on the main roster full time. Because as of now, I'm just thinking that match she had in Scotland was just a little treat, I felt. Jay said that's a good thing. Of course, Mark asked why. Well, and then again, it kind of is a good thing because then it's not a sign of someone's career possibly being ruined if they were that good on NXT, but we're going to get the call-ups, unfortunately, I'd say so. I think the same smell was on SmackDown Live. Kind of was, yeah, of course. It was a different kind of smell, though, because again, as I said, this was a SmackDown show that in some ways tried to tell some stories, but it just wasn't that interesting. Again, what was Miz thinking? Shane was in no condition to be in a match. I mean, once again, he is a heel, and it should be a heel. So I mean, that might be, of course, why he was trying to act like that and get into the head of Shane McMahon, pretty much. But we'll see what happens there. Before I start the review, of course, I'll get back to the live chat to talk about the first hour. The biggest disappointment I have about this show is the fact that Shane McMahon tweeted something out on Twitter stating that that there will be consequences or some changes to come to SmackDown because of our sweep. And other than Charlotte getting a $100,000 fine, nothing happened. No changes were made. Yeah, we have a tease for like a Miz and Shane feud, which, could be interesting. Even if it's for a WrestleMania match, okay, why not give Miz something, to do? I mean, last year he was in the Intercontinental Championship picture, where he was the IC champion for WrestleMania, which I was cool with that because I thought Balor and Rollins were a great opener. Of course, this could also result in the Miz actually getting a good win, maybe if he faces Shane, but other than that, once again, there was nothing on this show giving anyone any consequences besides that fine for being swept. That's because, once again, they should have been swept because the pre-show match, New Day emphasized that, but of course, that didn't count. And the rumors are apparently because Raw was supposed to win that match, apparently. Apparently, the Revival was supposed to be the dominating tag team, and they were supposed to pin the Usos, but I accidentally wrote down, I guess I accidentally penciled in the Usos to pin the Revival. Like, there was like a little mistake there or something like that. Well, one, if the Revival were supposed to look dominating, okay, at least that, and not have Raw completely dominate SmackDown's tag team division, because Raw's tag team division is a complete joke, and all they can do is say piss jokes, which those made. Did I put those on the list? I think I did. Yeah, I think I put piss jokes on the list. Yeah, actually, I did. I already put that on the list. I put that there. Oh, crap! I completely lost my train of thought now. I was talking about piss jokes, disappointment. Oh yeah, I know what I'm talking about now. But so that'd be cool. But think about it. The Revival would have been apparently gotten a dominating performance out of that tag title match. Then they would have had the match they had last night on Raw and completely jobbed out to the Lucha House Party. How bad would it make the Usos look, or the other teams that the Revival will dominate over? It would make them all just look terrible. So my thing was, it was the right move to do, obviously, if you weren't going to make the Revival take the main seriously to begin with. But who knows? Who knows? WWE probably blamed that, that mistake on them. Who knows? Who the heck knows? But let's, of course, get into it. The show opened up with a recap of what happened at the end of the match between Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey. And keep in mind, Charlotte Flair, once again, used a steel chair to smash Ronda Rousey's neck. And again, Ronda came out and no-sold that at all last night. So Charlotte comes out to cheers. And I personally think the crowd is cheering Charlotte because she's embracing what Charlotte really should be and finally going to that more, darker and aggressive side, like that, arrogant, cocky side that she was whenever she was on Raw. But I'm not going to be saying heel because I didn't know what to think of this. Well, first off, let me a little backstory. My TV for some reason started acting up during this opening segment. I missed everything Charlotte said live. I mean, I only got to see the part where Paige gave her the fine, but I missed everything that Charlotte had to say, and I was pissed, and that's why did I put my TV on the list? Yeah, I don't think I did. I tweeted about it on Twitter, but yeah, my 55-inch TV, because you made me you stalled and made me miss out on a segment to get some answers to what happened with Charlotte. You just made the list, although I'm still not really too pleased with what we got. I'll put living room TV. So basically, to sum it up, Charlotte pretty much claims she had no remorse for her actions, but against Ronda Rousey, and she's prepared for Ronda to come at her again whenever they cross paths again, even if that is at the TLC pay-per-view. But then she says, "I did what I did for the man, Becky Lynch. I also, of course, did it for the girls backstage. I just did my job, what she was supposed to do," as she claims. She made Ronda bow down to the queen. Paige came out and says that Charlotte doesn't have to apologize because they all enjoyed the beating she gave Ronda. But she wants to make sure Flair heard what she said yesterday about coming and finding her. Charlotte asks what the next pay-per-view is, and of course, that's what she's pretty much said. If Ronda sticks her nose in her business again, she's going to stick her head in a chair and stomp it again because no one's going to stop her. Paige says that since Charlotte snapped and put her hands on 5 referees, which Charlotte says they were in my way, but Paige says you never under any circumstances put your hands on an official, and she has no choice. She fined her $100,000. And out came the Iconics. Iconic! Billie Kay asks Peyton what she's doing, saying she's in a trance like some female Frankenstein or Charlotte Survivor Series. They mock her mental capacity and say they know they're Paige's favorites, so they want to do her a favor by taking those 100 G's. Flair asks which one of them wants to be the next Ronda Rousey, takes off her robe, and pretty much says, let's fight. So we had 2 matches with Billie Kay and Charlotte. Then it was Peyton and Charlotte. Charlotte won the first match by pinfall after hitting a natural selection, then called out Peyton to get into the ring for a fight since Peyton kind of got involved. And then Charlotte won by disqualification after Billie Kay used a chair, and afterwards Charlotte just double speared them outside the ring, smashed their faces into the announce table, and then threw Billie Kay into a barricade, smashed her face with a running knee before throwing Peyton into the steel steps. Flair then throws both of them over the announce table and climbs at the top and just poses pretty much. So here's the reason why I wasn't a big fan of this segment, because it just led to a lot of confusion. Yes, in some ways, I get it. There really wasn't anyone else, any other babyface to job out to Charlotte except for maybe Carmella, who, if they would have done like a full-fledged heel promo from Charlotte, have Carmella come out saying that, hey, I beat you twice. But the thing is Charlotte was getting cheered. And like I said before, here's the thing. If this was a full-fledged heel turn, people were cheering for it because it's what they wanted to see. It's like, thank you, WWE. They were doing, like, there's times where people are cheering for something because they're praising not so much the talent, but also the WWE creative team. Like, wow, you guys actually had the balls to pull this, pretty much, if you know what I mean. But I'm also getting that sense. And I'm not saying it's true. Some people are saying, yes, that's what's happening. Some people are saying, no, it's not happening. I'm starting to worry, not just the fact that, when Becky comes back, they're going to make Becky and Charlotte a heel duo. But I'm also now starting to worry that whether they're trying to shift all of Becky's momentum onto Charlotte. Whether they're trying to literally give Charlotte the same character as Becky, pretty much. A more aggressive baby face, pretty much. They're trying to make Charlotte now the women's Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm starting to get those vibes a little bit. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but it is worrying me. I mean, yeah, I know, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, aren't meant to be liked either, of course, but once again, who else was really going to do the job? And also keep in mind the fact that, with Becky not around for a while, it might be tough for them to, have another baby face to, really, get behind, since, Naomi's not really doing much, and Asuka's been ruined big time. Shoot, where was I going with this now? Yeah, Charlotte's been ruined. And Asuka's been ruined big time. And again, only I probably would like to see the Business Carmella coming out saying that she beat her twice and whatnot, which then again, her stand might have gotten boos. I don't know. Who knows? Of course, someone actually who made a good transition from a face to a heel turn tonight actually got people to boo him, and it was for a good reason. Ahem. So it leads to confusion. Is Charlotte a heel? Is she a tweener? Is she a baby face? I don't know. That's why I posted a poll up on Twitter here. And it got 15 votes on it. Is Charlotte Flair heel? Charlotte Flair heel, face, tweener? What is she? 15 votes. Nobody says face. 53% of people are saying tweener. 13% say heel, and 34% says I have no idea. And I think I'm in that I have no idea stage. And again, it might be because it's an awkward situation since Becky's not able to recover it, but so that suspense and that worry is keeping me. I want Becky to be there, make things clear. This could be, Charlotte saying, I did what I thought Becky would want me to do, which, in some ways, Becky just beating the crap out of Ronda Rousey, like that, well, could have been what Becky could have done, maybe. So there is some truth to that. But, I don't know if Becky would try to, break Ronda's neck like Charlotte did. And, of course, Ronda no-sold it on Raw last night. So, again, there is some truth to that. So it could be, or it could be Charlotte saying, I thought I was doing what was right. And Becky says, no, you didn't do what I wanted you to do or whatnot. I wanted you to actually beat her, rip her arm off, not do whatever the heck you did or something like that. Maybe that, and maybe that could be a reason to set up, an actual baby face Becky Lynch taking on a heel Charlotte. Which, if that's the case and Charlotte wins the championship, then maybe, Becky will, win the Royal Rumble, fight Ronda Rousey WrestleMania. And maybe if they build Asuka, we get the rematch from last year's WrestleMania between Asuka and Charlotte, where Asuka kind of gets her redemption or whatnot from last year to prove that she can beat Charlotte, even though right now, if they try to book Charlotte and Asuka right now, it will kind of like what happened with AJ and Shinsuke. They gave Shinsuke the opportunity, but they didn't build him up like if he was a serious contender to beat AJ, and look what happened. So yeah, and that was another thing too. Let me show you something. Of course, speaking of Shinsuke, let me show you something. Of course, on the WWE app that I read, and for the SmackDown preview for tonight. Let me see here. The results. Where is it? Come on. Where is it? Come on. Where are we at? Where is this? I'm scrolling through. Let's go to the SmackDown app to see what the preview is. Let's see. Let's scroll down here. Let's see if it's still listed. Interesting. So the preview says, how will Team Blue respond being swept? We didn't get a response to that at all, so that was a lie. And there was also a response is, another response, of course, is thing we were previewed for was the fact that apparently we were supposed to see like how was Shinsuke Nakamura. It said in the preview, how will Shinsuke Nakamura, where we go from here after not winning his match against Seth Rollins. We didn't see Shinsuke again tonight. When are they going to actually do something with Shinsuke in the U.S. title? Is he that irrelevant and the U.S. title that irrelevant? Not going to do anything with him at all? Not that you gave him a demotion in the mid-card title, you're not using him at all. I don't get it. And again, I'm still confused completely about this whole Charlotte situation. So who knows? I'll have to live chat again, of course, after we get to the top of the hour. We have Rey Mysterio cut some promo talking about how Randy Orton is more dangerous and sadistic than ever, but he didn't come back just to be another one of the Viper's victims. He better just wait and see what happens when he faces him tonight, which should be our main event. We got a recap of last week with Daniel Bryan beating AJ Styles for the championship and turning heel, whatnot, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. Then we had another segment of Miz TV. Miz got a Miz is awesome chant going because here we are in Hollywood. And of course, that's where he resides. He says it's good to be home. He was honored to fight alongside tonight's guest, SmackDown Commissioner Shane McMahon. He's also saying stuff like, it's just like, Shane's the best in the world. And it's pretty much just act like he's Shane's biggest fan. Shane came out really selling off his injuries, his beating from the Survivor Series match. And Shane's like saying he's not sure of the we thing and admits that he doesn't remember much of an end of the match because of explaining what happened. Miz says that he was using we metaphorically because they were on the same team. Shane points out that usually hosts have questions. And then he awkwardly asks Shane, will you team up with me? And Shane's like, what? Do what? Shane says he wants to form a tag team, the best in the world. In fact, Survivor Series, he didn't just see the commissioner, but a champion. Shane's like, with their respective duties, he doesn't know if this is going to happen. Miz, of course, acted all disappointed, saying he thought he'd be jumping for joy, and if he's as much of a McMahon as he thinks he is, he'll team up with him right here, right now. And then Shane begs him, and then Miz says, here, I'll bring you 2 tag team members. And he brings out Dwayne and Wayne Bryant, apparently. So the set gets cleared. Shane McMahon and the Miz get in the corner. Shane is like talking to him. Miz is trying to act like all excited, like, hey, come on, this is fun, right? This is what we're doing. Come on, this is doing. And then then the Miz gets pinned by a small package from Dwayne. So Miz and Shane McMahon lose. So not sure where this is going. Again, it's probably going to set up something involving Shane and Miz, but we'll see what happens. But that was a little weird, but okay, not bad. Oh, God. Here comes the part I was not looking forward to talking about. Remember when I said that comedy is not meant for certain people, such as Drake Maverick pissing his pants and putting all that on the authors of pain? I can't say AOP because I can't stand here and more P jokes. And Sheamus, you pushed my buttons like you said another P joke tonight. So we have the New Day backstage, who does fit comedy. The Bar and the Big Show does not. So the New Day is dressed up as pilgrims, and they're chanting 6-1, proving the fact that, hey, they won the pre-show match, which once again, yes, that is true. They run into the gobbledygooker, who turns out to be R-Truth. New Day's in the ring. Thanksgiving dinner is spread out on tables around the ring. Kofi's saying that it's Turkey Day. Your boys will be participating in the first ever Thanksgiving feast fight. Oh, joy. Similar to normal Thanksgiving, except you can't throw mashed potatoes at your creepy uncle. They want to share what they're thankful for, which Kofi's thankful for their tag team victory at Survivor Series. The 1 in 6-1, but of course, it did not count, as he mentions. And thank again for Michael Cole for exposing that. Xavier was thankful for his 2 terabyte hard drive so he doesn't have to delete Spider-Man to play Red Dead and all of his other video games. And Big E is apparently thankful for the big, juicy turkey breasts that they've been blessed with on this day. Kofi is at peace, but Big E says he's talking about turkey, which of course, I'm sorry, he wasn't really referring to turkey at first. He's trying to make a dirty joke. And then he picks up the turkey breast, and awkwardly starts licking it. And I'm just like, okay, there, yeah, this is even more awkward than it looks. The Bar comes out with Big Show. So Cesaro was like, they're the tag team champions, and he's sure Shane and Paige didn't come up with this. I wonder who came up with this. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was the 74-year-old out-of-touch man who is constantly laughing his head off at P jokes right now. God damn it. It's funny. It's pure entertainment at its finest. Comedy. Everybody needs to do some comedy. You said you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Yes, you're in trouble there people. That was Vince McMahon just taking into my soul for a minute and just laughing his head off. And here's me when it comes to Vince McMahon's P jokes. Actually, you know what? Excuse me for 1 second. I'm going on Twitter, and I'm saying another tweet towards Vince McMahon. I'm not going to be too offensive, but all I'm going to say is, Vince, here's what I think of your P jokes or your toilet humor. That's also referring to Bobby Lashley's ass, or hashtag Bobby's ass. Let me see here. Oops, I spelled cricket wrong. I'm probably boring guys stuff. Sorry. See? Exactly what I'm saying. A cricket gif, pretty much. Because, once again, that is how I feel. Anyhow, though, getting back to this, of course, we're about to get to a P joke. But Shane Stephanie sure didn't come up with this. Has to be the New Day stupid idea. Once again, no, it was Vince's and Road Dogg's probably. Kobe says Paige was talking about stepping your game up. It wasn't New Day she was talking about, because they actually won their Survivor Series match, unlike some people. And then Sheamus says if he's taking the piss because nobody can prepare for spontaneous urination. Serenity now. Serenity now. You guys know that was from Seinfeld, we can be friends. And then we had the match. New Day versus the bar show, whatever you want to call it, and a Thanksgiving feast fight. All that happened was people got pushed into tables full of Thanksgiving food. New Day wins. Afterwards, Cesaro tries to attack them, but then everybody's just throwing all this food at him. And Cesaro just looked like an idiot in the ring. So first off, this is probably their excuse of trying to give them another tag title match at TLC, which I disagree. I think it should be the Bar and the Usos. But it's probably going to set up the New Day getting another tag title shot. Which, no offense, I'm sorry, but they've had enough matches. I mean, yeah, they've had some good matches, but it's kind of getting a little old. We need something fresh here, such as the Bar and Usos. Hello, they put on a really good a good champion versus champion match at 2017 Survivor Series. Why can't we get them in a feud for a change? Usos haven't been involved in the tag title picture since they dropped the titles to the Bludgeon Brothers. Hello, can't we? Hello, but who knows? We'll never get that. And of course, once again, as I keep saying, with all these stupid holiday street fights that are clearly nothing but Vince McMahon's toilet humor, why does Cesaro always fall victim to every single one of them? He's usually in like the stupid Halloween street. He's always in the Christmas street fight. And worst of all, he always loses them. You're not going to give this man a singles main event push who more so deserves. Of all the wrestlers I've watched in my 6 years of being a wrestling fan, he is definitely by far the most underrated star. Him or Wade Barrett, the most underrated superstars, underutilized superstars I have seen. And you're just going to throw him in constant Vince McMahon toilet humor matches and make him look like the fool. After I saw that, I just tweeted out, Cesaro, run. Run for your life. Run away from Vince. Run away from Road Dogg. Run away from WWE in general. Go so far away. Go back to Switzerland. Go to New Japan. Go to Ring of Honor. Heck, you can run to NXT if you want to. Run to Triple H. He will make you a great and a magnificent, a glorious NXT champion. Just get so far away from Vince McMahon. Don't let Vince touch any part of your character. Nothing at all. It just pisses me off that, this is a guy that everybody has wanted to see get that big mega superstar push, that big main event spot that he so desperately deserved ever since I became a huge fan of him in 2014 when he split from the Real Americans. And he's does nothing but gets tag title runs, which he's good. He's done great in the tag team matches against people, of course, that he could be feuding with for the Universal Championship or WWE Championship, such as Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose, or even a feud with him and Big E one-on-one would be awesome. But instead, no. He is on the losing end of these crappy holiday comedy fests. Up yours, Vince. Let's go to the live chat, see what we got here. Let's see what we got here in the live chat. Let's see here. Jay thinks that Lars should go to SmackDown. There's already a lot of big sweaty men on Raw. Got a point there. I kind of agree. SmackDown doesn't really have like a big strong guy. Well, of course, there's the Big Show. Pretty much like I saw Giants and whatnot. I mean, Lars Sullivan's human wrecking ball at 6'3", 300 pounds. But one, again, there are way too many big name heels on SmackDown. SmackDown has the smaller roster. Raw's roster is bigger, and I feel like the roster, and yeah, there's a lot of heels on there too, but the roster is bigger. I feel like he might be a better fit on Raw right now, but who knows? But if he goes to SmackDown, we'll see what happens. I still can't believe they got beat by jobbers. Same here. Where was the changes and consequences? That's a great question, Mark. I don't know. Lesnar got fined $10,000 for nearly killing Randy Orton. Charlotte gets fined $100,000 for pushing a couple of referees. WWE logic. I actually didn't realize that. That is true. Why is Lesnar only getting fined $10,000 while he's killing someone? Charlotte's getting fined more for pushing a couple of referees. You got a good point there. I mean, yeah, it was. Well, then again, it was 5 of them, so maybe there is a standard amount for if it's like $20,000 per referee, maybe that's why. I don't know. Of course, then again, even if you push referee $20,000 divided by 5, that's still more than Brock Lesnar almost killing someone. But no, he's Brock Lesnar. He gets special privileges. But why? Brock Lesnar gets paid almost more than anybody just to wrestle a couple times a year. He can afford that money. Even Charlotte's acting like $100,000 was no big deal. Like, okay, no biggie. No biggie. But who knows? You got a very good point there, Jay. I say it over and over again, Jay. WWE doesn't make sense. It does not. It doesn't make sense at all. I wonder when they're actually going to pull the trigger on the Sonya and Mandy breakup. Starting to tease it now. How much are you gonna bet that they break them up a lot sooner than they would have broken up Sasha and Bayley? Or how soon? Sooner than they break up Sasha Bayley. Oh, that's right. They haven't broken them up yet, and they put us through 6 months of dragging torture just to keep them together and to keep them doing absolutely nothing except jobbing out to the Riot Squad or now Nia and Tamina. Dear God in heaven, help us. But again, I'd be interested in seeing Sonya and Mandy break up again. It still looks like they're going to make Sonya the baby face and Mandy the heel. I wish it was flip flop, but again, I'm interested in that because again, they were kind of going that direction whenever they first came to SmackDown. They just stopped it. I mean, I want to see what these two can do on their own. I mean, again, I'm not big on Sonya. Of course, now I'm big on Mandy's looks. I don't know how good of a wrestler she is. I mean, she shows. To me, I'm a little more interested again in her wrestling ability also than Sonya as well. But we'll see what happens when they do split them up. Yellow, the new what's up, the Elite Squad, saying yellow instead of hello. The new Daniel Bryan, indeed. Lana is a face, but once again, what are they doing? Elite Squad says, I see Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch the future. Again, the only thing is though, being like, yeah, I know we could see the match now if they do pretty much swap dynamics. But once again, are they just going to try to give Charlotte that big win back over Becky from Evolution, and just try to take all Becky's men and put it onto Charlotte? Though it's the only thing I'm worried about them having another match again, in my opinion. Unless they just do a match on SmackDown for Retribution, whatnot, and Becky wins. Mark is not again. Still no Shane McMahon heel turn. Don't know if it's happening now since they turned Bryan heel. The Feast match was stupid indeed. How come so far every match at TLC is going to be a regular match? The only reason I did mention the Strowman and Core matches is because we don't know if it is still going to happen, which again is true since apparently Strowman is legitimately injured. Don't know if the match will happen, but again, I don't want to see Strowman and Corbin in a TLC match again. I guess I said before, it's like Corbin again. If it was the Corbin before he failed Money in the Bank briefcase against Braun Strowman. Okay, maybe. And I'm sure that Corbin would have been booked as a better Raw heel GM than what we're getting now. Again, why are we putting a guy who hasn't been booked well in a big, profile match? Again, it's just like how in 2015 they didn't build. I mean, I thought it was the right move to put the Money in the Bank briefcase on Sheamus, but they didn't do anything with him as Money in the Bank. Because remember at Survivor Series that year, he said some stupid line that literally everyone in the arena, all the talent, looked at him like he was crazy. And then later tonight, they gave him the WWE World Heavyweight Championship with the cash in. And all of a sudden, he's a big shot now. Which, again, all respect to Sheamus, he's a hard worker, but he was not built up to be a main eventer. That's why, again, I'm not happy with seeing Corbin in a TLC match against Braun Strowman. He's sick and tired of seeing the New Day hold the titles. Again, there's it's just nothing really too different. Again, why don't they either just break them up, or just they could be in singles feuds with them still being in each other's corners pretty much. Go after the U.S. title or whatnot. Again, I still see a ton of single potential in Big E. I've always been a Big E singles fan. Don't know though. We'll have to wait and see. But I will get back to the review. We see Randy Orton picking up Rey Mysterio. A Rey Mysterio mask says that some folks think it represents culture and pride, but to him, it means nothing and doesn't deserve to be respected. It deserves to be destroyed, just like the man who wears it. Rey came back, and we were excited, but after he's done with Rey, we'll be shocked, disappointed, because the three most started letters in sports entertainment are RKO, pretty much. We didn't have Asuka and Naomi taking on Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, who once again another miscommunication leads to another defeat, which of course they would have lost the match anyway. With Sonya Mandy would probably have lost the match anyways. So again, they're still teasing a breakup between them, especially after Mandy Rose tries taking Sonya's spotlight from her at Survivor Series. Then we got to the moment of the night. Well, of course, first we had a Lars Sullivan vignette, but the best part of this show for sure was Daniel Bryan explaining his actions and breaking his silence. And of course, last week, again, I was so thrown off by that Daniel Bryan heel turn, just trying to register it in my mind. Like, how did we get here? How did we get here? I mean, again, yes, I can still agree that, Daniel Bryan was not getting as big of reactions as he was before. But again, the thing was, again, I didn't expect Daniel Bryan to come back and be built up come back and be treated like a big megastar, get like a rocket ship pushed back to the top. I didn't expect that. No, I didn't. Like, how I know this guy's not that rusty from, being on the shelf for 3 years or 4 years, since he technically didn't had wrestled his last match in 2015 in that tag match with him and Cena against Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. It was a really great tag team match. I do remember watching that match. But again, I also thought that the feud with AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan one-on-one was just supposed to be a way to kill time before The Miz got involved in the title feud, which he's probably not going to be getting involved now, which, again, this kind of sucks. I felt The Miz deserved a title run. And again, I still felt, again, Daniel Bryan and The Miz had unfinished business with each other. So I thought maybe we'll get Miz winning the title off of AJ Styles, and Bryan will dethrone him on WrestleMania by winning the Royal Rumble or something like that. I had all these ideas for a Miz and Bryan feud, and it kind of ended with a little bit like a wet fart, it seems like. And again, I'm still not interested at all in seeing a face Miz versus heel Bryan. Like, that's not gonna really draw my attention still. So again, I have all these questions, and then once again, I'm like, okay, he's facing Brock Lesnar. How is a heel Daniel Bryan versus a heel Brock Lesnar gonna get me to hate him? And I still felt that match did not get me to hate him. Still, okay. Tonight though, he formed a way to give the character heat, to make the character a true heel, and kind of like, pretty much get the answers to everything that's been happening recently. So Daniel Bryan comes out, still with normal music, with it saying "Yes is back" with the yes chants on it and whatnot. Daniel Bryan comes out, he starts to lead the yes chant with one finger, but then of course stops, kind of turns around, and he's going. We then also informed that AJ Styles will get his rematch at TLC again. If Braun and Corbin's match gets canceled, make the Bryan and Styles or Seth and Dean match TLC. If not, though, make Bryan and Styles a ladder match. But Bryan gets out. His eyes were closed. He had, of course, that look on his face, that evil grin and whatnot. And when Bryan was cutting this promo, it sounded like he was talking to himself in the third person, but he really may have been talking to someone else, making his whole promo feel like, a Bray Wyatt promo in some ways. That's what it felt like. He says he doesn't expect these people to understand, but his explanation isn't for them. It's for you, which once again, we still know who is you, because Daniel Bryan committed an act of betrayal. But that act was not last Tuesday. No. That was 3 years ago when he announced his retirement. His betrayal occurred when he gave up on his dreams. But Bryan doesn't give up. That's the difference between him and all these people. He learned from his mistake and fought. Going back to a story about, going back to all the doctors and whatnot, and the healing process and whatnot. Of course, he knelt down to meditate on his new mantra, fight for your dreams and your dreams will fight for you. And it worked. But how else would you explain the miracle that against all odds, Daniel Bryan returned to the ring? When he did, he received the loudest yes chants ever. And it was a great moment for the people. For those people, it was just a moment. They weren't there for the struggle. They weren't there for the pain, for the fights with his family, with the psychiatrist and the therapist telling him he just needed to move on, telling him no. The only people that moved on were these people, and you can hear it as we speak, and the idiots who chanted for AJ Styles. It takes a second, but the idiots do in fact take the bait and start chanting for AJ. And then Bryan says, starts calling them fickle, but he starts saying fickle, 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 something. Okay, so instead of yes, 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 so we're going fickle, 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 because apparently the crowd never knows what they want anymore. And honestly, that is somewhat true. There has come some situations. Prime example, they wanted a match between Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins, fresh people to main event a show. They main evented Extreme Rules in my hometown of Pittsburgh, PA. I was there in attendance that night, and the crowd hijacked the match because they decided it was funny to count down from each minute 10, 9, 8. And I was pissed. I was so pissed because it just took away from the match. It distracted. It was annoying. I was fuming during that happened. So Brian has a good point there. What do we want? Let's see here. He calls them fickle, and then he increases intensity before saying, "You heard the yes chants grow quieter every week, and Daniel Bryan stopped fighting. So when the referee was down, you didn't allow Bryan to give up on his dreams. Daniel Bryan's dreams took over. They did what they were programmed to inside the hyperbaric chamber, and his dreams kicked AJ Styles in the balls." Best line of the promo by far. The dreams made him realize he didn't need these people for anything. And they told him that at Survivor Series, he didn't need to beat Brock Lesnar to win. He won by allowing Brock Lesnar to beat the weakness out of him. Because you think about it, Daniel Bryan felt like the babyface in that match with Brock Lesnar. He did not succeed. Again, I thought first they were going to have this match to have Daniel Bryan have an excuse to say he was better than AJ Styles. I was trying to figure out, okay, why would Paul Heyman randomly put over Daniel Bryan? Like, is Daniel Bryan going to become a Paul Heyman guy? Or, what's going on here? So that still kind of like makes you wonder, okay, why did that happen or whatnot? Or actually, what this? What if Daniel Bryan is thinking he's talking to Paul Heyman? I don't know. That's just me thinking outside, thinking too weird. But now it makes sense because again, it wasn't Bryan attempting to one up AJ Styles. No, it was Daniel Bryan showing that last breath of the old Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar beating the old Daniel Bryan out of the new Daniel Bryan. And that, of course, was gold storytelling right there, I gotta say. The dreams told him to allow Lesnar to beat the weakness out, and there'd be a new emergence after that match. And there has been. The old Daniel Bryan that these people loved, that man is dead. The yes movement is dead. And all that's left to you, the new Daniel Bryan, the WWE champion. And the only thing that matters is that you never, ever give up on your dreams. Ever again. He goes to the ring announcer to tell him to introduce him as the WWE champion, the new Daniel Bryan. Bold. Incredible promo by far. You think back, especially in the Daniel Bryan documentary, they didn't think Daniel Bryan could talk on a microphone. Like they even of course, going back to how they kept saying that, him and The Miz were great pro and rookie together because Miz was great on the microphone. He had all the charisma going for him, but he was not that great of an in-ring performer. Daniel Bryan was a great in-ring performer, but he was vanilla when it came to the microphone. Man, had those, can they not say that anymore? Again, the tone of his voice, the way he delivered the promo, the facial expressions are just, they make you go like, whoa, like they give you chills by just looking at them. And, did I fully see the crowd turn on Daniel Bryan? No. There were obviously people I knew that still had hope for Daniel Bryan. And, of course, I was one of them. Because, again, Daniel Bryan's, my number one favorite. His story to the top was what got me to be a wrestling fan. But, obviously, people did move on. They didn't think he was going to come back. And even though, yes, he beat that miracle, there were still other people that kind of passed him up, such as the AJ Styles or the Seth Rollins or trying to think who else, because everybody else is so irrelevant on this roster. Or even when the Hardy Boys came back, or the Cesaros, or the Dean Ambroses, the Shinsuke Nakamura's when he was a megastar, like the Finn Balor's, for crying out loud, the Bobby Roodes, the Chad Gables, all of them still passed him up. There were other people there who were pretty much up. And that is the death of the Yes Movement, my friends. We will have our final thoughts on the Yes Movement to end this live review, of course, of SmackDown Live. But, of course, we have one more thing to talk about, and that is the main event of this show. The main event was Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. The match wasn't too bad between these two. I think they do work good together. My favorite part, again, was still when Rey Mysterio did that slide out of the ring and Orton then followed up with that sick RKO on the ground. It was just a really great counter that I thought was very impressive. And Orton gets the win. Here's the problem I had with this match, though. What's going on 205 Live with TJP and the Lucha House Party? TJP is constantly trying to rip off the mask. Okay? What happened with Chris Jericho and Rey Mysterio in that great feud in 09? He tried to rip off the mask. What happened with Chavo and Rey? He tried to rip off the mask. What happened with Kane and Mysterio? He tried to rip off the mask. What happened with all these other people? They tried to rip off the mask. Yes, Randy Orton obviously is targeting another big hero of ours, the legendary Rey Mysterio, which, again, I still love Rey Mysterio, but I'm saying that in Randy Orton's terms, like, people think he's so great. I think when Rey's so great when Randy's trying to prove, no, he's not, pretty much in his eyes, and say he is truly, the true legend and whatnot. He's the most dangerous man you can deal with. And yes, I appreciate, he's done stuff like, pulled on the ear gauge of Jeff Hardy with his finger and a screwdriver for crying out Hell in a Cell. Dear Lord, that was painful. Again, that match was really good between Hardy and Orton inside Hell in a Cell. Of course, Ty Dillinger trying to get rid of one of the fingers, instead of being a perfect 10, he's now a perfect 9, because, of course, his whole hand now apparently had surgery on. That's why he's been gone. They had to pause that feud. I'm sure maybe Tyler's going to get his revenge on Randy when he gets back. So you had to come up with something else for Rey Mysterio, something different for him. But once again, it's trying to rip off the lucha mask, the luchador mask. We've seen it how many times? Like, it's not awful, but it's just old. Like, you couldn't come up with something different for Rey. I don't know. After the match, again, Randy ripped the mask, like, not off of Rey's face during the match, but he also took it. He took it off. Then, of course, they covered up with a towel afterwards. But of course, after he ripped it off, they kind of put it back on to somewhat cover Rey's face before he used that chair to throw him into the post. So I don't know. I guess we're going to be doing a chairs match between these two now at TLC. Never really the biggest fan of chair matches, although Kalisto and Baron Corbin put on a great chairs match in 2016. That's the greatest chairs match I've ever seen. So not really that big on chairs matches. So whatever, we'll see what happens. But again, not a bad match. But the whole concept of the mask being ripped off again, it's just like we've seen that how many times, and we're doing it already on 205 Live with TJP and the Lucha House Party. Can you just please, WWE, present to us something freaking different, please? I don't know. But with that being said, though, that is my live review of SmackDown Live. Again, this is from the November 20th, 2018 edition of SmackDown Live. Again, it was a very disappointing show. We just had no fall to SmackDown getting swept. No consequences or anything happened, in my opinion. It was terrible. I don't say it wasn't terrible. Like, they tried telling stories, but it just didn't capitalize on it. So, checking the polls, what grade would you give this week's episode of SmackDown Live? 19 votes. Nobody said A. 37% said B. 37% said C. And 26% said D or lower. And what showed you more this week, Raw or SmackDown Live? 38% said Raw. 62% said SmackDown Live. And, of course, 16 votes on the is Charlotte heel, face, tweener? What is she? 50% said tweener. 13% said heel. 37% said I have no idea, pretty much. Again, truthfully, I'm gonna give SmackDown a C minus. Again, it's just to show it tried to tell some stories, but it just was not interesting. And there was no fallout at all from Survivor Series, no punishments or whatnot besides Charlotte getting fined $100,000. Again, the Charlotte situation is confusing right now. I hated that Thanksgiving thing. Oh, and also I forgot to mention this too. Keep in mind, Sheamus. I mean, the Bar lost this match because Big E punched Sheamus in the face with a turkey breast around his fist. Let that sink in. Sheamus lost this match. Got knocked out by a turkey breast that Big E was awkwardly licking, of course, and kind of referring to it as being, an actual human women's breast, which was awkward as hell to begin with in general. But yeah. So of course, check the live chat and then make sure to stay tuned for the final farewell of the Yes Movement. Let's check the live chat first and see what we got here in the live chat. Let's see here. Let me see here. Where were we at? I feel sorry for whoever steps in the ring with Randy Orton. Me too, but again, it's good stuff. Of course, he does. Again, the whole mask stuff, again, is just old as hell to me, though. But yeah, you never know what he's going to pull off. It's going to make you cringe, but again, it's a good cringe. It's like, oh, God, that looks like it hurts. Not like, oh, this is awful. I can't stand this or whatnot. You know what I mean? Rest in peace, old Daniel Bryan. And yes, Movement, you will be missed. For sure. We'll get to that short. What is weird, he kept referring to himself in the third person. Well, again, it was kind of like, kind of Bray Wyatt style. Like, he was not being, clear of who was talking. There could be somebody he feels he's talking to. Could be the old Daniel Bryan, or it could be himself. Who knows? We'll see more as the weeks come on further. We got Lauren. She says, hi, just got off work, wasn't able to catch SmackDown Live. You'd be disappointed probably with this show. Any good matches? I mean, the main event between Ray and Randy wasn't bad, but again, the stuff with the masking stuff gets very old. Charlotte faced the Iconics in 2 separate matches after cutting a promo that makes you a heel one way, face another way. Again, don't know what the heck is going on with it. Again, it still worries me that they're trying to pretty much take Becky's men and put them all on Charlotte. As I said before, Charlotte's only getting cheered this time because, she's doing what WWE we wanted her to do for a long time. She's not getting cheered because, they want her to see her, well, I shouldn't say that, but she's getting cheered because WWE is booking her the way that we wanted her to see her being booked. But of course, it's still confusion now, of course. There's way too many heels on SmackDown for sure. Again, who knows? No more Yes Movement. Yep. New Day segment. She saw, yeah. What was main event? Randy and Ray. Nobody knows what's going on with Charlotte. We need a Shane heel turn or at least a Miz face turn. Again, I'm still not digging a Miz face turn right now, in my opinion. But if you think so, guys, cool. But again, I'm just not digging a Miz face turn. She's a tweener, I guess. WWE find Charlotte. Well, storyline wise, find Charlotte for attacking 5 referees, pretty much. It seemed like a good match with Ray and Randy. No Rusev again? Nope. And no Shinsuke either, even though, once again, as I said, it did say in the SmackDown preview that how will Shinsuke Nakamura follow up his loss to Seth Rollins? And we got nothing with Shinsuke. So WWE, you lied. And again, Lauren, I don't know if you heard this, but apparently there were Fox executives there watching the show. So within the past 48 to 72 hours, you got them to be, you pretty much buried your show, buried SmackDown. The show's going to be getting you $2.5 billion from Fox next year. And you put on probably, in my opinion, since the Superstar Shakeup, the worst edition of SmackDown Live yet, which is sad. I didn't see the Mixed Match Challenge. Any TLC matches made tonight. The only new match I was announced tonight were just Brian Styles in the rematch for the WWE title, which again I think should be a ladder match. But if something happens, Braun for sure can't compete at TLC. Then either make Rollins and Ambrose TLC or Brian Styles TLC. my opinion. Yeah, Styles wasn't there. Was not there. Mark gives it a D minus. Again, I give it a C minus. I think it was at least not as insulting as Raw for the most part. But what was with Shane and Miz? The Shane and Miz segment, didn't he say something was changing? Once again, it was just Miz all of a sudden acting like Shane's biggest fan, saying that he wanted Shane to be his tag team partner. So obviously setting up some type of feud with Shane and the Miz, and Shane stood in the corner, and Miz got pinned by a jobber named Dwayne Bryant. What did you enjoy? Not much, really. New Day, another run with the titles? No. I mean, they didn't win them, thank goodness, but probably set them up for another tag title shot. I'm just kidding. Move on from the Bar and New Day. I want the Bar and the Usos right now. I'm going to put that in my printed match card. I want Bar and Usos. I want those two teams. Excuse me. Okay, I agree. Haha, nothing can be worse than Raw for sure. We should have a moment of silence. Oh, we did. Who's facing Bryan? Styles still. Why a moment of silence? Really, was it announced, Mark? Yeah, it was announced for the old Daniel Bryan, yes, which once again is why I have it all set back there, which we will have that moment of silence. And of course, I'll play taps again. I did my entrance for Daniel Bryan. Isn't this TJP's gimmick ripping off people's masks? Exactly, Jay, because it's being recycled. Because everybody thinks it's okay just to rip off masks. It's old. Can't move on from it. I kind of like heel Bryan, which again I dug that promo too. That again it gave me a more clear direction. Like, okay, this is what's happening now. I get it now, and it worked. It really worked again. I will say this though. Daniel Bryan's a guy that, yes, I know heels can be liked, but I feel like I said before, what makes someone like Chris Jericho great is that he can debut a new persona through a heel character, and it's a character that can transition into a babyface character. That's, I feel, how Daniel Bryan is also. He can be a babyface, his character wears off, turns heel, brings out something new. Even though this promo kind of reminded me a little bit of him from 2012, of course, except no yes chance because that's done, right, pretty much. But I feel that, Bryan Danielson, the man himself, can make the character likable, which I honestly feel at most maybe about a year of this heel run before he's back to being a baby face again. Like he's just that guy. Like, he can get the crowd behind him so easily, pretty much, I feel, with a character that I think in a year he'll probably be a baby face yet again, but except with this new character, which direction he's going, which he's rocking it so far. Of course, I also think, though, they need to change his music and, of course, his entrance Tron, because Yes is not back. Yes is dead. Daniel Bryan, this new Daniel Bryan has arrived. But what we have is also props to WWE also for kind of changing his profile a little bit on the app, because I don't know if I said anything about this before. Let me pull up the WWE app and go to the roster. Of course, I've been saying this for a while. Get rid of like the corporate profile picture for Daniel Bryan, since he's back to being an in-ring wrestler now and full-time wrestler, and not a corporate figure right now. You see, they still have his corporate photo for just the link to his profile, but now they changed it back to one of his old photos of his old wrestling photos, which is cool with me. But once again, get rid of the corporate photo for him. That's me being picky. Maybe the music might need to change too, definitely, because again, he's no longer a hero anymore. He's a villain. And also, once again, what is wrong with all these blank spaces for the NXT UK roster? Fill those spaces up. But yeah, I don't know why people are surprised Ray's been unmasked before, which, again, it gets old. What SmackDown matches do you think we're getting at TLC? So far on my card, I have, for SmackDown, I got, this is a little far-fetched, probably won't get this match, but I'm going to put in my card Shinsuke Nakamura versus Cedric Alexander for the U.S. title. Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. Now I believe it's going to be a chairs match. The Bar versus the Usos for the SmackDown tag titles. Not sure what's going on with the SmackDown Women's Championship right now. And of course, Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles for the WWE Championship in a ladder match, I'm going to say. I don't know who gets a tables match. Maybe the Bar and Usos. Here's another thing, too. If they do a tables match at TLC, maybe like 2 out of 3 falls or something like that. Because I hate how tables are. You just have to put one person through one table, and that's it. Maybe make it 2 or 3 tables or something like that. I hate this whole concept of just one table. Because then you got something stupid like, Sheamus just pushing Cena off of the top rope into a table, and it just looks weak. Or, having, Big Show's foot slip and he puts his foot through the table. And that's how he loses the match to Cody Rhodes in 2012. Like, I hate that. Like, make it like 2 out of 3 falls for the tables matches. But that was my SmackDown one. SmackDown always better than Raw. Oh, for sure. What would you have changed on the show? What would I have changed? Again, something different for Ray and Randy. Again, good match, but again, something else besides just him ripping the mask off. Again, we've seen that how many times. Again, maybe more of like a heel direction for Charlotte again. And of course, something regarding the fact people being punished for not getting the job done for SmackDown and getting swept pretty much, if you know what I mean. And also get rid of that freaking Thanksgiving feast fight. Like, it was awful. They are always getting pushed. She doesn't like them for sure. She'll catch SmackDown in a few minutes. Great stream is always sure thing. Randy has heels on fire for sure. Catch you Thursday. Oh, that's Thanksgiving as well. Happy early Thanksgiving. Love you guys. Thank you, Lauren. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Love your live streams. Thank you, Mark. Of course, as I promised before, we will end this live stream with our final farewell to the Yes Movement. Over here, behind me, by my back asphalt hoop, we've got my Yes t-shirt, the first ever WWE t-shirt I ever purchased. We also got in the middle the documentary, Daniel Bryan, just say yes, yes, yes. And also, if I may pull it over here for a second, in case you guys forgot, I met Daniel Bryan 2 weeks before he announced his retirement at the World Wheels Convention in Pittsburgh, and he even signed it to Mike, yes, from Daniel Bryan. That word is dead. The fact of his autograph saying yes is dead. That Daniel Bryan is gone. And of course, also right next to that, and I have some random book holding up the stuff on here. And of course, I have his biography, My Improbable Journey to the Main Event of WrestleMania. Yes, which is a great book. If you haven't already yet, I do recommend checking it out. But of course, I will see you guys all tomorrow night for my live reviews of NXT UK, 205 Live, and NXT. I will do those reviews sometime tomorrow night, probably. Thursday, with it being Thanksgiving. I do have Thanksgiving again for lunch with my family, since I have no plans in the evening, unless if I end up working. Since tomorrow I do start my holiday job, I might be I'm not sure if we're going to be open, if Amazon's open on Thursdays. So if so, I'll work in the evening shift because I signed up to work evenings on Thursdays. So most likely the special live stream will be Friday, which will be my top 10 best and worst matches of all time. And then again, next week I'm going to be going on a short little mini vacation with my dad and my uncles. I'll be back Tuesday though. I'll try to review Raw before I go to work next Tuesday because I'll probably be working then, and in the evening. But now I'll do my SmackDown live review either later Tuesday night or sometime Wednesday morning. But we'll see, of course, what happens again with my holiday job starting tomorrow. Hopefully it goes good. Hopefully I enjoy it. So yeah, just stay tuned for more content on the channel. Again, stay tuned also for the other video game let's play I'm doing right now with Hitler the Ninth Gate, Backyard Baseball 2003, and Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So again, guys, just stay tuned. And of course, if I don't talk to you guys before then, everybody have a great and blessed Thanksgiving. Eat a lot of food, do your weird traditions, spend time with family, and of course, just have fun. So guys, of course, as always, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. What you thought of SmackDown Live. Give your grade. Where do you think direction is going for Charlotte Flair? What do you think of the new Daniel Bryan, of course? Please stop liking the video. Subscribe to my channel because we're at 981 last I saw, guys. I'm 19 away from 1,000, which, again, I'd like to get to, because I never thought I'd get 1,000 subscribers again. Thank you guys, as always, again, for your support. With that, and just follow me on Twitter, ManBronny3. Stay tuned for more content to come to the channel. And once again, let's finish this the way we started, with a pause and a moment of silence as we remember the memory of the old Daniel Bryan and the Yes Movement. Good night, everybody, and I will see you guys all in the next stream. Take care, everybody.